Hello, welcome to this new episode of Continuum Gaming, and in this episode we are going to have a look at what was changed in the latest update of Jolla C2. So in the end it's a Sailfish OS version 5.0.0.43 now, and what I want to have a look at is what changed, talk about that, and I want to do the update with you because I didn't do it till now and waited for it for this episode. Here's my C2. It's already at my place, as you already know, and there we are going to have a look at what's happening here. I installed Screencast on this smartphone too now, so you can see everything on this what's going on this smartphone on the big screen too. Of course, not the whole process, because when you're updating the system, you might need a restart and stuff like that. So that is not going to be shown there. I'm going to just show you the smartphone in that case. Anyway, we are going to have a look at what is happening here and what are the changes. And of course, as I mentioned before, I didn't do anything, so we are even going to download the update in this episode. While it's downloading, I'm going to talk about the changes and what may need to be changed additional to that, because it's not yet in the state, at least from what I was reading there, that you should use it as your daily driver in the end, but it's much closer than before with this update. So let's start off with going to... Oh, sorry, that was the wrong part. Let's start off with going to my smartphone first. After that, we're going to talk about everything there. As you can see, you should see on the big screen and on the smaller screen of my smartphone now the same things. And there might be a small little delay there. That is apparent for any smartphone of Sailfish OS. It doesn't talk much about the performance of any of the smartphones here. It's just the technology we are using, because the smartphone is creating a small little web server where I am accessing it with my laptop, which is staying at the side there. So first off, of course, we have to go to the system settings. So I'm going to go to the system settings at this point. And what you already can see here is more or less the part. I installed Screencast on it. Just to let you know, it's very hard to install stuff by OpenWebROS at the moment. So I used Sham for the smartphone, because OpenWebROS is at the moment not supporting the new version of Sailfish OS on the smartphone in a very good way, at least. You can still install stuff, but you have to do it by the website with a more manual approach than using, for instance, Storeman on the smartphone. And that is a little bit hassle-some, so I'm not going to bother with it till my smartphone daily driver is going to be this one, because I plan to go with this one after that. But anyway, just to let you know, here is Screencast, it's installed, it's more or less what you are seeing at the big screen here, and that is all you have to know there. So, to install, of course, you go to the settings. Now you go to the updates for Sailfish OS, Aktualisierung für Sailfish OS in German. If I click on that, you will see that we are still on the 29 version, and I'm going to see if there is an update now. So go to the drawer menu. If I click on that, we should see something, hopefully at least. Didn't check till now, but you already can see it. There we have it. The new version is available. It's 5.0.0.4.3 in this case. And what is new is taught to you in this case here. There are a couple of different things here. One of the more important ones, of course, is that, for instance, they fixed the voice over LTE one. So you can now call with the smartphone over LTE, which means it's going to be future-proofer than anything else before, because all the other stuff was really not usable in many countries already. So this is a good thing to have, and one of the most essential things to have in the end. And as mentioned before, the C2 is more or less something that you should not consider as your daily driver at the moment, at least. Well, what was that? Why is it changed? Yeah, whatever. In the end, as you already can see, we have the updated version. It's 590 MBs in this case, and we will have to install that. 590 MBs means that we should be easily able to do that. The previous version or the previous upgrade date was very large. It was 1.3 gigabytes or something in that direction. I'm not sure at the moment, but over a gigabyte in the end, and that could have made a problem for some people. You don't have to do that anymore, because in 590 MB should be fine for any of the installation settings we already got there. Okay, so if we are ready, we are just going to go down here and press on download. This will now just download the part, and we are going to talk about what's going on with this app, this update. So I'm just going to put that aside. This is going to download it now, and I'm just going to switch over to the release notes more or less. And as you already can see, there are a couple of updates already in there, more or less, yeah, once a month or something, I'm not sure. And as you can see, we have those releases for the C2 till now. There's no release of 5.0 for the other smartphones. So for instance, my daily driver at the moment is still on 4.6. It's the Sony Xperia 10 Mark III, and there's of course the Sony Xperia 10 Mark IV and 5, which are going to get updates sooner or later too. And yeah, furthermore, probably the 10.2 and maybe even older smartphones are supported too to get the new update. We will see. Jolla already told us which smartphones will be going to 5.0 and which are not. And yeah, at the moment there are no new information about all this, but as you can see, for the Jolla C2 we have this information already there. Okay, so let's talk about this. There's a couple of different things here which is concerned about putting more or less a smartphone in a working state if you are starting it up. I have a video on that. For me it worked, yeah, with the first version already pretty fine. Some other persons had a couple of different problems with that, and some even bricked their phone with that process because something wasn't right there. As you already know, Jolla had, for instance, an free update service or something like that available for these people so that they could send it over. They would flash the new update on it or a better version on it, and then it would work and stuff like that. But it was quite a hassle for those people. I really understand why that isn't really a good way to do it. Anyway, for me it worked, for others it did too, and I think a smaller amount of people had problems with that, but there were solutions for that found for most of the cases. If not, in some situations you might be happy to hear that you can now do a limited fast boot flashing, which is in this release now. Of course, if you have a smartphone that can't update to this, you are not going to be helped with that. For that kind of thing, or at least in some situations are more or less not resolvable by doing it over the air or with your smartphone by yourself, and then you will have to talk to Jolla about that. Anyway, for the other ones, you can now do a limited fast boot flashings, meaning that you can really do it by yourself. So there are some kind of images you can put on your smartphone now, on the Sailfish OS C2 of course, and you can just use the bootloader flashing, or the flashing instructions are already here. I will link them down below in the commentary section, or say in the description of the video there. And there you can of course have a look if you are able to do that. Why is this important? So in the end, Sailfish OS is a smartphone OS where you are probably going to play around a little bit and stuff like that, and sometimes just normal that you are going to hit some kind of a wall, or that you are going to brick your smartphone to a certain amount or something like that, and then you will have to reflash it if you are playing like this. If you're not, if you're just a normal user, you might even never need this, but in these situations it's very important to have that, and like that you can now do a limited fast boot flashing, which should at least help a little bit with some kind of problems you might occur or you might face in these different scenarios. Okay, whatever. Next one is more or less, or one of the more important one, as mentioned before, the voice over LTE, which means 4G calling is now available. It seems to be that some people have it now, some don't, because it's depending a little bit on the provider in the end, as most of the stuff with LTE and stuff like that does. Very annoying, I think, but the problem is it's not standardized in a way that 3G or 2G was standardized, and so it's much more hard for Jolla to cover all the different settings and stuff like that. But still, seems to be working for many people now, and that is a very good thing. Here's a newer, smaller update for the Gecko engine there, as it seems. I'm not actually sure if this is a much newer version than the one before, but still I think maybe there was some kind of an update for security reasons or whatever. I'm not sure. Good to have it. And the other ones are more or less smaller ones. So for instance, if you have a look at unnecessary added list of packages to be removed, that's quite an annoyance, more or less, but it wasn't really a show breaker or something. So in the end, for some of the updates, you already saw it in these and in other ones. You always had the problem that, for instance, the updates were shown as more or less blocked, or they told at least you that you should get rid of a couple of packages and stuff like that, and that was in many cases too many of them. So in the end, they showed you, I don't know, I think I saw a couple of hundreds once, and of course you didn't have to worry too much about all these, because in most of the cases there were no problem with the update, but they really showed you a lot of the packages, and if you're very cautious about it, then you would have to deinstall all of them, and deinstalling 100 packages is of course no fun to do and very hard to do in the end. Maybe reflashing would be better in that case, but you didn't really have to in most of the cases. Still, they warned you about that, and now it should be more precise, so in the end there should be less of them, hopefully. I'm not sure. At the moment I don't see any, because of course it's done like it is done. And on the C2 there's just not too much I already installed, because as mentioned before, OpenWRPros is a little bit of a hassle to work with. I got Chum from OpenWRPros on it, which was a hassle too, and after that Chum is already working fine with the new version of Sailfish OS, but OpenWRPros isn't, and so we will wait till the 5.0 version is probably, let's say, out of beta or whatever you want to call it. It's not officially a beta release or something, but anybody who has a C2 at the moment should be aware that it's more or less something like a beta version running there and a beta smartphone, because we are working more or less hard, hopefully, on getting the smartphone to a state that it's really the daily driver usage material we all wish it to be. And in the end, it's already close, just to tell you, especially with this update with the calling, which was the biggest drawback, more or less. The second biggest, I think, at least, of course, depends on what you want to do with it, is that you can't record videos on it at the moment. We will see what's happening with this new update there, but I don't know. Anyway, what we already can see, hey, the update is now available, so we downloaded it fully. If you are not that familiar with Sailfish OS, there is no kind of indicator or apparent indicator how much percent, for instance, were downloaded already. And at the start, when you are first using the smartphone, you might be a little bit confused by that, but have a look at the picture up there. Because the picture up there is going to be more or less grayed out or something like that, and it's going to more or less have the download bar in this picture, so the grayed out parts will slowly degrade, and like that you will see, hey, if the picture is now fully visible like this, then you already know, hey, cool, it's downloaded. And of course there is this information if it's really done and stuff like that. So it's not a problem or something, it's just a small little minor detail. Okay, so and now just go to the drawer menu up there, and as you can see there's this install button. I'm just going to click on that, and this will of course shut down the smartphone, for instance, and do stuff with it. So just give it a second. I'm not sure how much we will be able to see on the screen with this. We will see what's happening. As you already can see, here it's changed. There is no information anymore on there, but we already see, or still see the big screen there. That's just normal. It just vibrated. So give it a sec, and as you can already see on the smartphone here, on the smartphone screen, it's going to download stuff. Or better to say, it's already downloaded, but it's going to restart, and it's going to flash the new update on here. So let's see what's going on here. In the end, it takes a little till it started already, and now we are in the security part. I'm just going to put that one in. Give me 1 sec for that. There we are, put it in. And as you can see, now the real update is going to run. There is a little indicator bar which should fill sooner or later if everything is working. We will see if it's doing that. Yeah, perfect, there it's going. And as you can see, the white one of course has to go to all the right here, to the full bar length more or less, or width, and after that it should be fine. Probably it's going to restart after that again, but we will see what's happening here. This is just the normal Sailfish OS update process. It takes a little to download the other stuff. After that it will take a little to install it, of course, and after that you should be fine. If everything works, it should, of course. So give me a sec. Shouldn't take too long in this case, because we are really just a couple of seconds away from finally installing it. So it seems to be running nice, but you never know if something happens with the update process which you didn't expect to be. So I'm always a little bit cautious about that, especially with the C2 and the beta version we have on here, which is just a little bit more troublesome than the final versions, because of course there's a much smaller user basis which is going to get this update instead of the other ones we already know about. Just because C2 was already sold out, I already know that it's about 1,000 persons. Maybe 2,000 will be in the next future, because as you already know, there is a second batch coming up. If you didn't know, here is information for you. In the end, there's a second batch of 1,000 additional smartphones coming up, because of high demand probably, and other demand that was over this 1,000 devices at least, and that will be available soon TM, so I'm not sure what this means, but we will see. Okay, so smartphone run to that point there. I'm not sure at the moment if it's, it's coming, it's fine. So it just vibrated in my hand. I wasn't sure if, for instance, the screensaver or something was kicking in, but no, it wasn't. It really was just the restart of the smartphone again. And let's see if it's running through and everything's fine. Good thing is, if it doesn't, for any kind of reason, we are now able to use fast boot flashing more or less to get it back to a working stage. Problem, you need to go to fast boot to that, and in some situations, especially the ones we already saw, that was not possible. But anyway, for me it should be, and as you already noticed, I have a running smartphone here, it's fine, and it's more or less what we suspect it to be. So let's see when it's going to be over, giving me more than this. Hopefully it will. I don't want to flash, it's a little bit of a hassle, of course. Don't want to do that at the moment. Very close to Christmas today, and we have to still do stuff. Yeah, okay, something worked. I have a vibrating part there again, so let's see. Hopefully not some kind of a boot logo cycle or something, but doesn't seem to be. It's working something in the background. I already see that. Okay. And there we are, worked like it should. I already see the screen here. Let's give me 1 sec to put everything in. That's always a little bit funny with the smartphone. It shows sometimes a little bit of a black screen, just nothing else on there. But that's fine, it's doing what it should, but it's just starting without any kind of informations. If I was Jolla, I would just put in, I don't know, some kind of a circle which is rotating, or even just an image. It doesn't really matter what it is. Just show that something is going on. Because now, as a user, I really don't know what's going on, and that's a little bit troublesome sometimes, or at least telling you what's going on would be nicer. So in the end, now the smartphone is there. I should be able to log in again. I will have to put in my key, of course, again, but this is a normal login screen. The other one was for the installing part. So if I'm just going to put it in, let's see what's going on. And here it looks like normally it would look. And if we now go to systems again, I think I will have to reactivate screencast once, so you can see everything. Give me a sec. In general, I will have to update this too, just in case. That seems not to be running at the moment, so yeah, there we are. And already you can see there we have the smartphone again with the parts you can see on my smartphone here. And very interesting, I didn't think about that, but you already see it. The C2 has a pretty low resolution screen. Not to an extent that it would bother me, but still it's lower resolution than, for instance, the 10.3 I have, the Xperia 10 Mark III, has a bigger one. And the funny thing about all this is that it's smaller in the screen resolution I see here now too. Of course I can do, for instance, browser scaling, and now it's fine too. But again, the screen resolution is just smaller, and so the screencast resolution transferred there is smaller too. Somehow logical, but you will have to know that first. And as you already can see, we have now the new version. It seems to be fine, run through as it should be. And this is more or less the whole process I wanted to show you and talk about all the different smaller updates there. I'm not going to use this as my daily driver till now, but we can of course have a look if recording is available now. So let's do that, why not? So I'm just going to go to the normal camera app at this point. And what I want to test here, and this is normal for the smartphone too, I don't know why, or if it's just about the performance or whatever. At the start, if you're starting stuff, it really takes a long time to get the first app running and stuff like that. After that it's fine, but it takes a long time for the first version there. And yeah, what I can show you already, here is my laptop, of course, as you can see. And what I want to test out, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to work. This is fine, so I'm going to the video mode of the smartphone with the camera here, and as you can see, I can already see everything here. That's totally fine. But the moment, and I will even go to the yeah, let's go to the normal camera, the one that should be the main camera in the end. And if I now hit the record button, it's going to be shut down, probably. I'm not sure, but that's very likely to happen if it's the same as in the last update. And here you already can see it. Frozen image, we have this camera doesn't react stuff, so this bug is still there. There was nothing in this about this in the release note, so I didn't think it would change anything here. So that is a really big problem for me. That is more or less the reason why I'm not going to use this as a daily driver. I can just restart it, and of course anything else in the camera app is working. So if you just want to do, for instance, pictures like this one, so you can go back to the picture mode and take a picture, that's fine, that's working like it should. And as you can see, we have a picture now, which is fine for that too. Everything fine with that. But if you are going to use the video camera at the moment, that's just not possible. It's going to crash the app, and that is the biggest problem, biggest flaw I see here. So I'm not going to use this as my daily driver with this bug, because sometimes I just need to take videos there. Anything else works. It's not about video calls or something, that's all fine, it should work. But what really is a problem is a camera app which is going to do that, and that's a big problem. So, I would say this is more or less all I have to say in this episode. So thank you for watching. I know it's a talkative episode in this case, but I just wanted to show you the process and talk about the different fixes and changes here. So have a look at the description down below there. I have a couple of different links for you if you want to, for instance, have a look at the fast boot flashing instructions, so that's a right word, and the stuff like that. And other than that, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe to the channel, the button is down below. And if you have any kind of questions, comments, whatever, put them down below in the commentary section. I'm going to try to answer them, of course, as always. Thank you for watching, see you around, and bye. Oh, and just to let you know, best for you and your family to Christmas, because probably we will not see us before Christmas anymore. So great celebrations, or whatever you're doing in your country, or whatever you're doing. Okay, so have a great one. Bye.